Chapter 1. The Titanic's Legacy, a Ship of Dreams and Nightmares. The RMS Titanic, a name synonymous with both opulence and catastrophe, has captivated the world for over a century. Launched as the unsinkable marvel of the White Star Line, its maiden voyage ended in tragedy on April 15, 1912, claiming over 1,500 lives. Yet, beyond the well-trodden tales of icebergs and lifeboats lies a mosaic of human stories. Stories of survival, sacrifice, and the surreal. This book delves into the odd, the overlooked, and the extraordinary narratives that emerged from the darkness of that fateful night. Chapter 2. The Coal Fire Conspiracy, a Hidden Inferno? In 2017, journalist Senan Maloney reignited a controversial theory. A smoldering coal fire in Titanic's hull weakened its steel, hastening its demise. Unearthed photographs revealed a mysterious 30-foot black streak near the boiler rooms. Engineers speculated a weeks-long fire, ignored to avoid delays and bad press. Yet skeptics countered. Why no reports of scorched decks or boiling pools? This chapter dissects the evidence, weaving survivor accounts with expert analysis, leaving readers to ponder. Did hubris and hidden flames doom the Titanic? Chapter 3. Charles Juffin, the baker who paddled on whiskey. Charles Juffin, the Titanic's chief baker, spent his final hours on the ship sipping whiskey, tossing chairs overboard, and leisurely strolling flooded decks. Miraculously, he survived 2 hours in frigid waters, attributing his resilience to alcohol-induced warmth. From loading lifeboats to floating calmly as the ship sank, Juffin's nonchalant defiance of death remains one of the disaster's most bizarre survival tales. Chapter 4. The Orphans of the Titanic, Mystery of Louis and Lolo. 2 toddlers, Michelle and Edmund Navratil, boarded Lifeboat 11 as Louis and Lolo, their father's final gift. The boys, speaking only French, became media darlings in New York until their mother, Marcelle, recognized them in newspapers. Their father, a kidnapper seeking a fresh start in America, had perished. This chapter traces their emotional reunion and the legacy of the Titanic orphans, a story of loss, love, and redemption. Chapter 5. Violet Jessop, the Unsinkable Stewardess. Violet Jessop survived not 1 but 3 maritime disasters. The Olympic collision, 1911, the Titanic, 1912, and the Britannic sinking, 1916. On the Titanic, she cradled a stranger's baby. On the Britannic, she escaped propeller blades by inches. Decades later, a cryptic phone call claimed to be that baby. Jessop's life, a blend of resilience and eerie coincidence, cements her as the sea's most tenacious survivor. Chapter 6. The Countess of Rothes, a leader in the lifeboats. Noelle Leslie, Countess of Rothes, transformed Lifeboat 8 into a beacon of order. While others panicked, she rowed for hours, comforted weeping widows, and navigated toward phantom ship lights. Her poise earned the admiration of crewman Thomas Jones, who gifted her a numbered lifeboat plaque, a token of their lifelong friendship. The Countess's leadership defied Edwardian expectations, proving courage knows no class. Chapter 7. Dorothy Gibson, From Survivor to Silver Screen. Silent film star Dorothy Gibson survived the sinking only to relive it weeks later in Saved from the Titanic, the first movie about the disaster. Clad in the same dress she wore that night, her performance was hauntingly authentic. Yet trauma and scandal, a lover's death, wartime espionage, overshadowed her fame. This chapter explores art imitating life and the cost of survival. Chapter 8. Joseph Laroche, A Father's Sacrifice. Joseph Laroche, the Titanic's only black passenger, was a Haitian engineer fleeing French racism. He secured his pregnant wife and daughters onto a lifeboat, handing over his life's savings before vanishing into the Atlantic. His widow, Juliette, raised their children in France, forever honoring his sacrifice. Laroche's story illuminates race, migration, and the quiet heroism erased by history. Chapter 9. Memorials and Myths, How the Titanic Lives On. From New York's Titanic Memorial Lighthouse to Belfast's haunting museum, this chapter explores how the disaster permeates culture. Debunking myths, the curse of the Titanic violin, and examining modern parallels, the OceanGate submersible tragedy. It reveals why the Titanic remains a mirror for human ambition and fragility. Chapter 10. Conclusion. Echoes of the Past. The Titanic is more than a shipwreck. It's a tapestry of humanity. Its stories, of a baker drunk on courage, a countess with a steady hand, and a father's last embrace, remind us that history is not just dates and steel, but the echoes of those who lived it. As we navigate our own icebergs, their legacies endure, a testament to survival, folly, and the indomitable human spirit. Epilogue: The Submerged Mirror, a reflection on why Titanic's stories still resonate. In an age of climate crises and technological hubris, the Titanic whispers a warning. Progress without prudence sinks us all. Yet within its wreckage lies